So I am Aaron McWilliams. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. In the studio with me is Craig and Arden from Rydell, and they're from the sales side of things. We've heard from the body shop, the mechanic shop. It's good to have somebody. You're the guys that you actually talk to when you need something.
That's correct. And Craig's the best one to talk to. I started at Rydell 16 years ago, and Craig became a close friend almost right away, and he had already been a veteran in the car business for a long time before that, and I just feel honored that he's one of my best friends today. So take it away, Craig.
And I tell you what, the feelings are mutual. Arden and I are a few of the old dogs left in the dealership, and times change as we get a little older, and as I get older, we see a lot of changes in the dealership, and a lot of people think, well, there's no one around that's been in the business for any length of time, and we've been there, and we've got still a nice crew that's been there for a while, and the talk is that we've got a bunch of younger people just learning the business. But boy, I tell you what, we work for a company that really puts out some nice people and nice people to deal with.
Well, I've met a lot of you guys that's come through the studio, and as I've mentioned to you guys in the lobby and on the station a couple times, the last two vehicles I bought were from you guys, and I love you. Yeah. And I don't foresee ever buying a vehicle from anybody else. Why would I go anywhere else?
That's so nice that you say that, Aaron. And I just had a fellow this morning. Actually, I've got, excuse my modesty, but I think I have over almost 6,400 customers. And I had a guy come in this morning, and he's, Craig, I haven't talked to you in 10 years. But I had such a nice time last time and it isn't only Craig. It's all of us. Rydell gives us such a wonderful set of tools to work with, and how we back our product and how we can take care of our customer after the sale is they give us everything you can't buy the wrong car from us.
That's really cool. Hey, if you're just joining us, I'm talking to the Rydell guys, Craig and Arden. If you have some questions for these fellas, feel free to text in or call in at 775-5559. That's 775-5559. Craig, so you've been in the car industry for a long time.
Yep.
What have you seen? What's the biggest change that you've seen in the car industry, either in sales tactics or in the buying habits of people? What have you seen?
Well, the biggest thing that I see is, and we all see, I think, is the old internet. From us watching the lot and seeing people drive through the lot, you don't see that as much anymore. And when people come walking in the door, and these young salespeople, I tell them, you don't know how nice you have it now. When a guest comes walking in the door, they already know what they want. They already know what we have, and they'd like to take a look at that one certain model instead of you walking them out into what they call the sea of iron and trying to pick out a few vehicles to see if they're interested in them.
Sure.
So that has really changed. And so we have our internet department along with everything else, the old-fashioned way, which I still am. A lot of people asking, they thought I was retired many years ago. Well, I did, but I still work there. And that's just because I enjoy myself and I enjoy the company I work for so much.
Well, good for you. 775-5559. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air. It's Craig and Arden from Rydell.
Yes, I've got a question. Is there a place in town that will turn back the speedometer on my car? I'm going to trade it in. And when I ran the Mercedes dealership in Grand Forks, we had a mechanic that turned them all back to 20,000. Yeah. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Well, when I buy
or is that an extra charge? I mean, is that just kind of an under-the-table thing? We don't tell anybody about this service?
We have forms we sign that there's federal charges involved if anybody does that. So that's it's nearly impossible these days with the technology that goes into it. And, the stories, there are stories around that still happens, but usually you see a news article with federal charges involved in that. And when I purchase vehicles, we have forms in every deal that it hasn't been done. So it's a signed legal form.
Of course, now it's all digital. I mean, it's not like it's not like the old mechanical ones.
Yeah, and it's also documented so far back, all the way from when the car's new. So when you go to say like Carfax or one of those, that vehicle's been documented since it's been born. So whether it's had its oil changed at 3,000 miles or the next service has been done at 10,000 miles or whatever, any person can give me a VIN number and I can search that car and it'll tell me the miles and what's been done to it since it's been new. So that's almost impossible anymore. Way back when I started in 1980, the old story was you could take a drill and go underneath the dash, I guess, and hook it to the speedometer cable and spin that baby back. And I don't think I want to be any part of that, because that's, like Arden says, that's a big, big no-no. And I think this Mercedes guy, that's why there isn't a Mercedes dealer in town anymore either,
Yeah.
probably.
Interesting. Very interesting. So I assume with both of you guys, decades of experience now, and you've sold every vehicle that you can imagine, right? Every brand. Do you have a favorite?
Chevy's our favorite because we've been selling Chevys for so long, but Buick and GMC and Cadillac. Recently, we focus more on Chevy and then Cadillac and GMC. But people love all different types of brands, so we tend to carry, especially used. And, of course, we have the Honda, Nissan brands here in town and Toyota brands. And then our wonderful guys out at the Auto Outlet on Gateway Drive. They obviously, that's used brands out there, but we service and sell all used brands, and because people have their own favorites.
But if you, Mr. Arden, with all of your decades of experience,
okay,
you have to buy one car, and you're looking for something that's, for a college student, a used car. A used car for a college student. They're a new driver. Maybe they're 18, 19 years old. They need something, and they need something that's going to be really reliable. What do you put them in?
I don't think it really has as much to do with brand as it has to do with how it's been taken care of. What I see in this business is just amazing. You can have a vehicle 2 years old with a couple 20,000 miles on it that's absolutely tattered and torn.
Arden's trying to get out of this answer. I can tell.
He's trying, man. He's wiggling.
I'm
pushing hard.
Pick your brand. You're looking for brand, and I just there are many brands that are going to do a great job. But
all right, you know what? I think Craig, can you help me out here?
Yeah, I can help
me out here. I mean, people are going to ask. They're wondering. All right. You have a daughter. She's 18. She's 19 years old. You need something. You got about $6,000. What do you put her in?
2004 Chevy Impala.
You see, that's a straight guy.
There you go.
You're looking for a guy who's gonna get you into something that's going to last.
I made a living off the Impala for 10, 15 years. That car was the number one selling car for all those years. And it dodged all the new models coming out, and it stayed the same body style and everything for so many years. And I tell you what, I'll get an any Impala, and I'll drive that SOB to California and back, as the saying goes.
Good for you. You see?
Good point.
All right. Chance number 2, Arden.
Okay.
All right. You got your number one car. You got to pick one. You only get one. You don't know how it's been taken care of. You just got everything's equal. What do you pick?
I would go with the Chevy Malibu, actually, because I've had one myself, and my first car was an Olds 98, good old 72 Olds 98.
Okay,
but I would go with the Chevy Malibu now.
Yeah, interesting. You see, I'm actually surprised. I mean, I'm kind of a Toyota guy, and I'm kind of surprised you didn't say either Toyota or Honda. The fact that both of you actually said Chevy. Maybe we're pushing Chevys today, but I'm a Toyota guy, and I like my Honda Accord, both of which I got from you. My Toyota Tundra and my Honda Accord. I love them both. I both got them. I got both of those from Rydell, but I'm surprised that you still picked with Chevy.
My daughter bought a Toyota.
Yeah. All right. So
and I've sold all three. I've sold all three. I've worked for Toyota. We were the Toyota dealer before I came to Rydell, and Honda dealer also. Back then, yes. And nothing against them now. It's just when I compare to what you bang for the buck, okay?
Sure.
You pay a little more for some of the other brands. I'm not saying by all means GM is a cheap sell by all means, but they're more of a volume type brand, if you will. And so when there's that many more out there on the street, I tend to veer that way.
Interesting. All right, let's go and take another call. 775-5559. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air with Craig and Arden from Rydell.
Yeah, I'm a previous customer of both you guys. One sells them and the other delivers them sometimes. But question for you, because you got the age now, but back up maybe 15, 20 years ago, maybe not even that long ago, but GM had a feature on the radios. And I know they want to get rid of radios, but it was a sound suppression or a sound compensator. So when you were driving on the road, you could have that button turned on, and as you pulled up into a town, the radio would soften up at the same time. Same thing with the old trick as a kid, turn up all the volumes and all this stuff. When you turned on the car, everything was blaring at you, and it wouldn't do that with that feature. And if you can talk to any of these guys at GM and see if you can get that feature back, it's pretty good.
Well, the only feature I heard like that was just the opposite. It was you pull up to a stop sign and there's a big semi next to you, or a Harley Davidson whapping its pipes at you. It would turn the radio up. And but as far as the suppressor, I don't. Maybe I'm not old enough yet to learn that one.
When you're on the road driving and you had the volume up, and then when you slowed up into a town or something, then all of a sudden it would kind of quiet down and then louden up as you got back on the road again.
So what would prompt that? Would that be deceleration, or did it know it was coming to the town, or what do you think? How would that work?
Well, like I say, if you had it on and you're driving down the road, as you pulled up coming down Highway 75 to Moorhead, you as you slow it up for climax or something like that, then when you got through town, it would soften up and then raise up. I can't think of the name of it, but
there was auto. It was called auto volume, is what it was.
Okay,
that's what I remember it does. But
that's interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's probably been since the middle.
But to get them back to doing that again would be with all the electronics and stuff they have now. I tell you what, for them they would.
Sometimes there's too many electronics.
You don't have to tell me. I'm old enough. I don't even know how to sell a car anymore. I just hope the people like me when they talk to me.
Thanks, guys. Good luck with
thank you much.
Paintball this summer.
Yep.
Thanks for the call. 775-5559. We're going to go ahead and hit our commercial break. More to come with. This is Aaron McWilliams, and in studio with me, I've got Arden and Craig Croker from Rydell. They're both from the sales teams. So when you actually need a new vehicle, these are the guys that actually put you in a new vehicle. They'll still steer. Just take it over, because I can't talk, fellas.
Yep.
You know, I got some water over the break, and it just didn't do me any good.
Are you sure it was water?
It was clear. I don't know if it's Everclear or vodka, but
there you go. Go for it, Craig.
Man. So, what do you have coming up on the sales floor? Do you have any great deals that people need to be made aware of?
Well, we've got one real hot deal that I think of, and you don't hear this price anymore, but we have a lease special on a little Chevrolet Trax. It's just a gorgeous little SUV, front-wheel drive, for $299 a month. And all it takes is $299 down. That includes tax, license, everything. So that's a 3-year lease, 10,000 miles a year. And for someone just looking, I, for one, when my kids were going to college, that's what I did for my kids, because I sent them off to college. I didn't have to wait for, hey, Dad, the transmission's out of my... Well, I was going to say old Impala. I better not say that, but no, it's a wonderful way for a family to start out in a car, especially if they're going to school and the parents are on a tight budget or something like that. That's a nice thing to do, because you don't have to have any maintenance scares or anything like that. They're in a safe car and it's under warranty.
What does that look like on the insurance? I know that's always a question when you're looking at a young driver, in a new vehicle. In my mind, and maybe this is an antiquated idea, but in my mind, it's, like I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and I'm thinking, hey, in a couple of years, I'll put her in something. And my mind immediately goes to the old clunker. Yeah. I'm going to get something that's beat to heck and rusted out, and I'll put her in that, and insurance will be lower. Yeah. What does that look like on an insurance side here in North Dakota?
Well, it's just the opposite now, because of all the safety features on these new cars. The insurance is probably going to be lower on a newer car than an old clunker that doesn't have any of the safety features and, the brakes, the frames, the rust, the this or that. A lot of different things can, I shouldn't say create accidents, but they're a little prone to things happening to them.
I've been surprised more than once getting a new car, leasing a new car, that the insurance actually is more reasonable. And you have to check with your insurance agent on that. But it's how they look at a new car and how it's going to be taken care of. A lot of factors go into it. But the insurance on new cars isn't generally that bad, or compared to a recently used car.
That's something I found, too, was that actually getting into a new vehicle can be a lot more affordable than what you think, especially when you take a look at the maintenance and, the maintenance schedule on it and repairs. We just had a call, and I was going over to click it. Caller, if you want to call back, we've got just a minute left or so. 775-5559. That's 775-5559. If you want to join the show, we're with Arden and Craig Croker from Rydell. So, what are some of the new features that you see? We've seen all these, all these new features come out. Are there any new cars coming out with auto drive, autopilot?
The big thing is Super Cruise in the GM world. That steers you down the highway. That doesn't drive you through town. It steers you down the highway. My dear wife wants nothing to do with it. I have gone in a couple of them, and it's an amazing experience because the car's driving you down the highway.
Another one is, and on that same line, is adaptive cruise.
Yeah.
We used to hit the old resume button every time we came across a slower car or something like this, but now it takes care of itself. You go through the cities, you don't have to touch the cruise control. It slows down, speeds up whenever it needs to. And I didn't really realize what adaptive cruise was until I had one of my guests tell me how nice it was. So, that's another nice new feature.
Oh, I've got adaptive cruise control on both of my vehicles, and I love it, especially when you start going through the cities and you hit some slow traffic. That used to drive me crazy.
Yep.
I mean, to the point that my wife and I would just switch. My wife doesn't care. It drives me crazy. That's where the road rage, really starts popping up in me. So I absolutely love adaptive cruise control, but I've never tried Super Cruise.
Yeah.
So with Super Cruise, can you do that like hands-free?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yep.
So
you can't close your eyes.
We don't have time to get into Super Cruise, but I wonder how that works with some of the legislation that's come out with hands-free phones and things. Is that okay?
The vehicle watches you, so if you're distracted, the vehicle will alert you.
That's almost creepy. I don't know if I like that.
My first one, excuse me, the first one I ever sold, I was delivering this Cadillac Escalade to the people up into northern Minnesota, and I want to familiarize myself with the vehicle real quick. Well, the owner's manual and everything was sitting in the passenger seat, so I reach over to get the owner's manual to look at it, and I was away from the little screen that was watching me, and all of a sudden the steering wheel started shaking, and there's a big strip on top of the windshield, or on top of the steering wheel that turns red and says, "Hey, you better grab onto the wheel."
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So you can't take your eyes off the road, so to speak, more than 10 seconds, I think.
Wow, interesting. Interesting. You see, I want that for like my RV or something.
Yeah.
That way I can go back. I can use the restroom. I can make some lunch. I can go take a nap. I mean, I grew up in Louisiana. We drive back and forth, twice a year. And that's what I'm looking for.
This won't allow you to reach over and give your wife a smooch.
But she can come over. So you can't reach over. She's got to still reach over.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, look, if you're in the market for a car, even if you're not in the market for a car, stop by Rydell. Go see my friends Arden Lovert and Craig Croker. They'll hook you up. They've got some great deals right now and some amazing features on these cars that apparently, even if you have a young driver, it's going to be easier for you to get your young driver in a safer vehicle faster than looking for that clunker. Go check it out. So, how do they get a hold of you? You got a number or a card or
I tell you what, you just
a secret handshake?
Yeah, I guess one of the reasons why I like to be on the radio is so many, like I said earlier, that so many people that think I'm retired, and I tell you what, just getting close to turning 70, I'm just getting started, and I tell you, I'm having a lot of fun. Just come on out, let's have some fun buying a car.
I try to keep up with Craig every day. Some days I do.
All right, we're going to hit our newsroom. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you,
More to
Aaron.